And we're back. Uh, Previously, our agents were descending an elevator into the bowels of the psychology building, heading towards what might be a secret lab. And as the doors open uh, at the secret basement level, you see that in front of you stretches a long hallway. Everything about it um, giving off a unpleasant air. Uh, the feeling that you get is that this is a very industrial space. This was not a space created to be a high-tech laboratory. This is a grungy place that was retrofitted for these purposes, feeling closer to like um, an industrial basement with exposed pipe and wiring that leads you down a concrete hall. Um, and going down the hall, you see a couple of signs with arrows pointing in directions. One of them says containment, one of them says subjects, and one of them says research. At the
Containment?
moment, it feels like you are alone, and things are quiet except for a ambient industrial hum.
Press up
With the
against.
gun, I'd gesture to the containment sign.
Yeah, go to the containment room or sign and press up against the wall again in front of the door, or it's like a turn down a corridor type of thing.
More corridors.
Okay. Peek down the corridor. Check to see if anyone's there. If not, start slowly moving forward.
All right. Heading down the direction that is marked containment. You turn a corner and you find that it leads to a large open room. Within the room, you can see that there are a couple of people wearing lab coats, and in the center is a cell of some kind, a cage, what seems to be made out of plexiglass. And within it is a bizarre looking creature. It's difficult to get a look at it. It kind of looks similar to a torpor, if you're familiar with those. Kind of like a large, squat creature with a nose that almost a bit like an elephant's trunk. Um, and you can see that it is hooked up to a number of machines. The creature seems to be restrained and something being done to it. You can't quite tell if they're experimenting on it, taking something from it, or trying to keep it alive. But at any rate, you have the upper hand in this situation if you wish to engage with it.
So it's how many people with lab coats are there?
You see just two. There's a what appears to be a male and a female scientist, both of them quite young.
I'll let the others decide if they want to make any moves before West does West things.
Yeah. Conti Cut secretly loves it when you do West things. So he's actually kind of like, he's just kind of like gives you like a nod, like what you want to do, you know? And he looks at the tape, you're kind of like, you know,
He does a gesture.
should I shoot this thing?
He does a gesture to one of the scientists, like one of the people in the lab coat. He goes,
Yeah, that's a good approach. Yeah.
so if you like nod or consent to it, he'll like pick one and you pick the other and do like one of those like simultaneous kind of, hit the head on the console and just kind of take them out,
Right, takedown.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Tom Clancy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into that. Try to do a little sweep and a pop on the desk. Catch them before they hurt themselves badly.
Yep.
All right. You have the drop on the situation, but you are both working together and trying to take out two people simultaneously. So I think that's going to push the position to risky. So go ahead and I think it's just going to be Agent West making the action roll and Agent Conte following.
All right. Is this in procedure? It's hard.
Are you attempting to identify, contain, or obfuscate?
Contain.
Yeah.
I'd say contain.
Kind of rough. I don't know if the mafia thing applies here, but it is being kind of, again, somewhat unnecessarily rough when compared if they had just, like, I don't know, told them to freeze or something, like proper authorities. I don't know if you want to, like, say it still applies or not.
Up to you for how you're approaching the situation.
Mafia-like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hurting them in the process. This is not really being nice. I would still probably say it applies. No equipment. And we already have.
Does our R&D guy have like some knockout drugs?
I mean, I could, but I thought we wanted to save my I assume you want to save my one use on the obfuscate later.
the gadget.
Yeah.
My special gadget.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you are using a handgun to like pistol whip these guys into unconsciousness, so I feel like that would count.
But the pistols aren't.
I wasn't gonna use the handgun.
Yeah, we're just our hand on the back of
Bopping
the
them
head
on the
and
desk.
Yeah.
All right, that is sounding like 2 dice, unless you'd like to use a point of resonance.
Nah. We got the 2 dice. That's the magic number. Isn't that Mark's thing? We were talking about that at the session 0. Your thing with 2 dice all the time.
Yeah. Go for it, man. Get us a 6. Don't roll 1 die.
6 and a 2.
Easy peasy. Really?
Yeah.
Man, you guys are rolling hot.
Yeah. Seriously.
Except for me.
All right.
Yeah.
It goes as you thought. The two of you silently sneaking up and then simultaneously, wham, smacking them, bouncing their heads off of the consoles as they both fall to the ground unconscious. And you are in front of this chamber with this imprisoned creature.
So I think as the research guy, I'm going to walk up to it, and I have recording equipment and testing kit. And I would like to try to identify what it is. Is it of a supernatural origin? Pretty much I want to do a full assay of anything I can find out about it.
All right, let's also make this an action roll with the result you get determining how much information you receive.
Sure. So I assume typical for a trained ECB agent, because it's identify, so relevant background, standard gear, and I will spend paranormal powers to give myself 4 dice.
Excellent.
All right, and I just hit my first power level, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Pappy's resonance has filled, and that is going to allow Pappy to tap into some new supernatural powers as he reaches out to this creature.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll 4 dice.
All right, I will do that. And I think I will take the power telepathy to help me. That feels like the most relevant thing for helping me. And I will, hold on, give me a second. I will roll 4 dice. 5, 5, 3, 1.
All right. I'm going to renege on what I said before, because I want to give you all the information. I feel like what you've just laid out makes a lot of sense. So the consequence is going to be that the mission clock is going to tick once more.
Don't we want that to happen?
No, the mission clock is like a doom clock, not like a good mission clock. Not like a you solve the mission clock.
Oh, I thought we had a
That's
solve
like-
the mission clock though. Am I mistaken? I thought we did have one of those going too.
The mission clock in this game is, as it ticks, more bad things happen.
Oh. Huh. All right. It's been a few weeks. What do I remember? Here I am.
Eh. All right, lay it on me, GM.
All right, so you are reaching out to this creature, and as you do, you feel this connection, and you feel a kind of power entering into you as you gain your first special ability. So, what is your first special ability?
Telepathy.
Oh, that is excellent. So what is happening is you are getting like this sympathetic connection to this creature, but also because of your background and being in the research and development department, you have insights as to what you think they're trying to accomplish. So what it is that this creature is restrained and contained, and above it is like kind of this weird funnel thing, kind of floating above the creature's head. And looking at it, you believe that you have found your Dream Eater. This is a strange cryptid that is local to this area, but also is in a couple of different regions. It's also been referred to as a Baku. This is a creature that doesn't eat dreams like its name implies, but it emanates a telepathic field that can interfere with the psychic vibrations of people in its vicinity, which can cause things like very strange dreams, including having the creature itself appear in their dreams. But what is how this machine feels like it is draining some of that energy or channeling some of that energy. It feels like it is capturing the overflow in order to be used as a part of this process. They are harnessing the power of the Dream Eater to be used elsewhere.
He'll take his hat off and hold it to his chest and kind of says, "A wise man once said you could milk anything with them," and his voice trails off. Good Lord, I do believe they are trying to use this creature to control people's dreams.
Oh, well, that means there's at least a solution, because we just stopped the creature and we stopped them, right? Straightforward?
Well, I am a little unclear on if protocol is to eliminate it all, or do we take it back with us for the research and development division?
The R&D department, you know, always prefers to take things alive, because then they are always able to be used.
Absolutely.
But Conte, with the field ops, a lot of your department prefers to just stop the threat. There is something happening here. The first priority is to stop it in its tracks, whatever that means. The directive is open-ended.
Question: is the tapir or this cryptid? Is it in a case? Is that what it is? It's like some kind of glass containment.
Yeah, it is in like a plexiglass cage upon which it is hooked up to a number of machines that are strained.
Does it appear
It's
that there's
fairly small. It's fairly large. Like it's the size of like an adolescent bear, not a fully grown bear, but definitely bigger than a dog. You know, it is a sizable creature, even at this kind of pathetic state.
I mean, my thought is that he probably wouldn't like shoot it while our R&D guy's looking at it. You know, he's probably gonna, if anything, he's gonna be looking for like some kind of subduing drug, something like what were they, you know, how do they keep it in control, or you know, whatever. So he's looking for like cattle prods, injectors, that sort of thing.
Pappy can tell, and I don't know if you relate this information, but the creature is in a subdued state. Like it has a low level of like tranquilizer, keeping it under control at all times.
Yeah, so I'll convey that. I'll be like, you know, they've been keeping it tranquilized. I do believe that if we were to call in a containment van, likely they could take it before the tranquilizer wore off.
Let's hope you're right. Conti says kind of grimly.
Contingency, I'm well aware.
Yeah,
Right, so
Conti looks nervous, but he agrees.
All right, great. So I'll pick up my radio and I will call over to the white van. I'll be like, we have an unidentified creature here that we would like to take back to the Bureau. Can we please send a containment unit in?
You talk into your radio, but the only answer you get is static.
No time for that now. You know, that's all, unless you want one of us to go out there and bring this thing with us.
Well, why don't we try going back up one flight to the main floor and call in from there? I do believe we had luck with the radios at that point.
True. Splitting the party though.
Splitting the party for sure.
Or are we gonna go together and leave this? You know, someone should stay here. One of us go and call it in.
Yeah,
Maybe Conti. Maybe Conti does that. Okay, yeah, Conti's gonna do that.
All right.
He's mostly by the book. He's not gonna go off the handle and do anything weird. He's actually gonna go up there and just call it in.
All right. So, who is going up in the elevator?
Agent Conti.
By himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. He peels off from the group, leaving West and Pappy. What are you doing down here?
I think we're just gonna. Okay. Wes, do you have an idea?
I mean, he's like antsy to look through the rest of the base. So you can see him like standing by the door, kind of like constantly poking his head out. He's like still got his gun well in hand, and he's just, you know, he looks back to check in and like how you're like looking and managing the equipment or whatever and assessing the strange creature. But you can tell he's just like.
I think my character would be totally focused on the creature, and so like not even noticing you at this point, because it's just he's really eyes on the prize. He feels like this is his path to promotion if he can bring this creature in.
Yeah, I think Wes like taps on the door frame to this room with his revolver a couple times. It's like lets it like echo through the basement and keep seeing like maybe if anything changes or whatever, or if there's any like sound or something that comes back as he just ting 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 ting, you know.
Provocative.
Are you what are you trying to accomplish with the tapping?
Like draw it out, right?
Yeah,
whatever it might be down here.
Maybe try to provoke a response to see if it gets something. He doesn't expect to come running out and anything to come out in a running fit of rage or something, but maybe it elicits something. See if he can like be kind of annoying, like only West can.
I am going to say that for this particular action, you do not provoke any meaningful response.
Sure.
As the noise kind of echoes around these concrete walls.
Sure, that's fine.
At least they know you're coming, though.
Yeah. At least
And with that, we are going to cut to the elevator. The elevator's doors close as Agent Conte begins heading up. And about halfway up, the lights in the elevator start to flicker. On, off, on. And then when they come back on, Dr. Salazar is standing there in the room with you.
In the elevator,
Uh,
correct?
In the elevator, directly in front of you, smiling wickedly as suddenly his hands reach out for your throat.
Oh,
And then we're
boy,
going to cut
okay.
back downstairs to West and Pappy. Dealing with this creature, the rest of the lab remaining unexplored. What is your plan?
I mean, at this point, should we just like pull the plug on all the machinery? Do you think that's going to do any harm?
No, we should not do that. I feel like we have a plan here. Agent Conte, I'm sure, can handle a simple ride up an elevator, no problem. I say that look at the gorgeousness of this beast. We just appreciate it. That's really the best thing that we can do now, I feel like.
Gorgeousness? What are you talking about? It's some weird thing. What do you mean gorgeous?
Look at the psychic energy emanating from it. It's truly spectacular.
I'd love to imagine that, like in the TV show, it's like cutting between scenes of me like, ah, like scrambling in the elevator, like against this ghostly figure. You know,
And it
just like
Absolutely.
disappearing through the wall.
Yeah, just
You know, it
cuts
comes
to
back in and
Pappy
scares
Pappy's
me.
staring at it like, oh man, this is wonderful.
So
I'm sure Agent Conti can handle him. So you know.
Agent West Pappy is just like totally kind of ignoring you, blowing you off.
Yeah. I mean, all right, if you're a scientist guy, I'm not going to argue with you and everything. But jeez, I mean, the longer it's hooked up, I mean, I feel like the longer the things around here keep going. You know, I want to just put an end to it.
So I think Pappy's gonna be getting a little nervous at this point and be like, Agent West, maybe you should clear the rest of this floor to make sure that there's no other adversaries around. I'll just stay here and protect the beast.
All right, yeah, sure. I'll leave you be with your new best friend.
You're welcome, Adam.
I was just going to say that Agent West, as this conversation is wrapping up, you hear the sound of several footsteps coming down the main corridor down here. And now we are cutting back to the elevator, the lights flickering as a life or death struggle is happening. Agent Conte, no room to maneuver. Him just right off of you. How are you going to deal with this this threat?
I mean, I kind of preempted it a little bit by saying that he might be incorporeal and floating in and out of. Is that really happening when I grab him? Does it like, is he material or is he like, I'm gonna try to grab him and be like, what? Stop where you are, you know, something like that.
As he reaches out to touch you, he is tangible.
So you're cutting out a little bit. Do you say he's tangible, correct?
Yes, he is tangible.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Conte just probably only knows about them. They haven't seen them through this whole interaction, I think, other than when they disappeared upstairs. So he knows this is threatening, but he's not sure what the heck's going on. So he's probably just gonna try to grab him, like do a forceful maneuver back against the wall of the elevator, to smash his head against the wall there and knock him out.
All right. You start to grapple with him. Your instincts taking over. But as soon as you do, you can tell that he is strong, stronger than he should be. So your position for this is going to be danger close, which is equivalent to desperate. Go ahead and make an action roll.
Okay, so I'm hearing one die for background, one die.
Definitely.
Let's see, gear or requisitions. Gear includes my standard gear or standard issue.
Yes.
Okay, so 2. I don't think he's using paranormal yet. I'm a little surprised. Yeah, I'll just go with 2.
D2.
2 dice with a 1 and a 1.
Oh.
Double 1.
Uh-oh.
Nega crit?
Um, Agent Conte, you grab him and you slam him against the wall of the elevator. But his face is unmoved by the physical impact that he suffers. And reaching out, do find purchase on your throat. Very similar to the marks upon the neck of the original victim, Thomas Frame. So yeah, you are currently in a life or death position right now.
Okay. What kind of consequence is that?
Basically, I think that the next roll is going to determine whether you make it.
Whether I live or not.
Yep.
Am I injured? Or does I just have, like, a hand on my throat?
You are actively being injured. If you break it right now, then you'll get off with nothing more than a tight throat. But the longer this goes on, the more dire it is.
So rather than try to like incapacitate them, I'm actually going to try to like shove them against the buttons of the elevator and hit the e-stop button to get me back down.
Okay. All right.
So even if, even if I get knocked out or something, hopefully the elevator drops down and then it opens up and my allies are somewhere nearby.
All right. That's going to be another action roll. So go ahead and make that for me. You got 2 dice right now. Do you want to spend some resonance to get a third?
Yeah, I think.
Also, you are able to redact that consequence in order to put yourself into not quite as dire of a situation.
Oh, it felt pretty dire before that, but if I can get it to risky, I might be in on a redact roll there. Otherwise, I'll just do the resonance and try to get three dice here.
Yeah, I think taking it too risky would, or redacting would put your current situation down to risky rather than just being truly life and death.
Yeah, well, okay. So I have just the 1 resonance though at this point. Oh, wait, I got 2 from the last roll. So, all right. So from the last resistance I did, or redacting that I did. So I'm up to 3. Yeah. All right.
All right.
So I'll roll 3 dice for redacting.
All right.
And I take 2 more resonance because I rolled a 5.
Correct. That is going to mark 2 more resonance. All right. So, with that, go ahead and make your action roll at risky position as you try to get control of the elevator.
Right. So if I'm at 5 of 6 resonance and I mark one more resonance, does that fill my track and then I'm now power level 1 after this? Or
Yes.
Correct. And then you will get your first new power.
okay, I guess he's gonna do that. So I do that. For the bonus die. I guess so this represents his yeah, he just feels the situation going from bad to worse, you know, but sees this momentary opportunity where he's he's managed to prevent him from being in life through death, and he's trying to buy himself this time. More than knock out the guy, he's more trying to get down and prevent his own death. But yeah, all right. So I'm at 3 dice with that resonance spend.
Correct.
It's not me who's the lucky one. I've got a 4.
Okay. First of all, what power did you acquire in the struggle?
Oh, all right.
You need some time to think about it?
Well, I was gonna say this transcendence one, but then I realized that that one's a one-timer.
Right, and then you'll die.
Right. Oh, I die too. Okay. Yeah. Let's go with something real interesting. Teleport.
Teleport.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
love that.
problematic in an
Um,
elevator.
okay. I think that what is going to happen is that his fingers are around your throat, and you are against the wall, and you are slapping the back of it, trying to press the appropriate button. And then suddenly, you're just not there. As you collapse onto the floor of the hallway below, the place that you wanted to be, not the place that the elevator took you. As you uh, just land on this cold concrete.
I'm
And you are
downstairs and they're
definitely
up.
taking an injury from. You're where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
You are on the same level as your fellow agents, but around your neck, bruises are darkening, and you find breathing labored and difficult, which might make things more difficult for you in the future. But yeah, you find yourself back downstairs in front of the elevator. No sign of Dr. Salazar.
West. West. That's what you hear down the hall. It's just like a gurgling of Agent West. I start to scramble out of the elevator like, oh.
Well, I got my own problems
Yeah,
running down the corridor, so
the two of you only a little ways away.
Okay.
yeah, Wes.
Apologies, I think I cut out.
Yeah, we still heard the footfalls. Have they? Has anybody come into visual from those footfalls that we heard before we cut back to Conte?
Yeah, I think that these are happening kind of simultaneously, and this is the same hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So, West and Pappy, you become aware that at one end of the hall is the raspy voice of Agent Conte, and at the other end of the hall are the sounds of some footsteps. And now that you are they're a little bit closer, you also hear what seems to be the sound of a struggle of some kind. Conte, it doesn't seem like they've noticed you at the moment, but you see another two, what look like scientists, holding a third person who is kind of struggling against them as they drag them down the hallway, uh, seemingly moving with intention towards the subjects division.
I
They're
can
not
talk,
towards
so I
us.
get right. Man, my thought is to just be like, stop. I'm trying to say it loud enough so that probably Pappy, who's in the experiments room,
Containment,
but
whatever.
they'll hear it.
Yeah, they're currently in containment.
Yep.
I guess, is there doors on all these areas that we, from the hallway that we're in, or are these or is it like open so we could yell?
Uh, there's a hallway and that branches off in these three directions. And then within each room is a door. So there's a door at the entrance of containment, but that's not the angled branch. I think that if you are whisper yelling to your companions, then they'd be able to hear you. I think they're aware of your presence.
Yeah, I just say something loud to the scientists so that the others can hear. And I'm just like, don't move.
All
And
right.
I'm probably, which is kind of feeble since I'm like half on my butt. I'm imagining that I was grasping my throat from the ground and then like scrambling out of from away from the elevator door while the elevator's like bing at the first floor. I'm like, I'm like down here in the basement, like kicking myself away off the ground, and then I'm like, see them, and then stand up. I'm like, hey, stop.
Yeah.
All right, you are on the ground, somewhat feebled from your experience, and the two scientists see you and pay attention to you, and you hear one of them say, "Another one? This is really getting out of hand," and they break off and start coming towards you, and they reach into their lab coat and they pull out a syringe and are walking towards you.
God.
Yeah, I think at this point, West has, like, he mentioned that he started some footfalls to Pappy and then has headed down the hallway with his gun still in hand towards where he heard
Yeah,
the
like I'm
rasping
imagining
voice of his comrade.
Yeah, I'm imagining I'm trying to stand, so like they probably would get the jump on me if not for you.
Yeah, they're going to kind of be walking right past the entrance to your side hallway. So, West, if you want to get the jump on them, you have the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, like as he sees them walking forward with a scalpel in hand, he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, fellas, it's not how that's going down now. Can you just hold it up there? There's no more moves."
It's not a scalpel; it is a syringe.
Oh, syringe. Sorry, the other S. Sorry, sees the syringe and he's like, "Yeah, fellas,
Not good either way.
not
No.
Can you hold up the foots there? Yeah, no, just keep just hold up, stop moving, drop that, put your hands up. Can you identify yourselves?"
All right. I think you do that. You are waving a gun at this person, correct?
Pointing, waving, sure.
Upon seeing this and hearing your speech, they immediately throw their hands up, drop the syringe, and say, "I just work here."
Hey there, all right, some compliance then. That's great, fellas. I already like you already. Like I said, can you identify yourselves? You got names or something?
Something don't seem right.
The other scientist who is holding the person who is struggling while the other person was coming towards you, they rounded the bend towards the subject center, so they are out of sight. So it's just the one that you are dealing with. But yeah, they reach around their neck, take off a lanyard, and hand it to you, and it says Institute of Enlightened Exploration. Alvin Roper.
Alvin?
Cal-
What's horrible timing?
I know, right?
Okay, we'll go with Calvin. I'll just assume I heard Calvin.
I think it was Calvin.
Yeah.
That's what I heard too.
Definitely heard Calvin.
was Calvin.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
He's like, all right, Calvin, how you doing? Can you just get up with the wall on the wall there, hands against it, Nothing fishy.
As I'm standing, I'm just like, get it away. Maybe they're escaping. And I'll probably try to go after them. I don't know.
You want, yeah. I mean, he's trying, because I mean they're compliant or a compliant scientist, so he's just trying to like detain, and then yeah, if you're like going to go after who's
well, I don't know. It depends. Did they look like a hostage? That person that was with the second scientist that left?
Kind of, he was being dragged. Now that was
he's being dragged.
Yeah,
they were taking him to subjects, so I think we should assume that he is not that he's more like a captive or something.
Yeah.
Calvin, who has his hands up against the walls, say, I want you to know that I'm doing this for credit. I'm not being paid. We've all signed NDAs. We've been told this is perfectly legal. And
perfectly legal is a bit questionable at the moment. Let's just settle things down here, and we're gonna have ourselves a nice bit of a chat, though, right? And he looks over to Containment. Like, you good? You good? You able to get up on your own 2 feet?
Yeah, he's recovering by now. I think a little bit. He might still have a sore throat, but he's mostly contained his upsetness. I think he's just kind of like, now's not the time for interrogation. Just let's clear this hall. Let's clear this floor. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think.
I want you to know that if you haven't signed an NDA, then you could get in a lot of trouble. My boss knows everything that's going on around here. He's gonna. You're in trouble, not me.
Yeah, I think
my instinct is to bop him on the head.
It's like, everything said it was legal, and my boss said dunk.
He drops like a stone.
Yeah, he kind of uses his foot and kind of tucks him off to the side and makes sure he's not in like a horrible position or anything like that. He's not like completely inhumane or anything, but he kind of just leaves him there against the wall, basically as a log, and then goes towards the subjects, towards that like other the other lab coat guy was headed with the prisoner.
All
right.
I'm just like, something weird happened in that elevator, by the way. Just leave it at that.
That is very true. It hasn't really been addressed.
He's just like looking for sympathy, like, I'm all right. I'm good. No, I'm not, no, the marks are nothing. It's okay. Thanks for consulting me. And I'm West is just going down the hall.
Yeah. I'm just looking back at the elevator, like, bing, at the top floor. I'm like, yeah, I was on that.
Yeah, so rounding a corner over to the subjects area, you see your other scientist, and she is dealing with this person who is struggling against them, and they're having it's a handful for her to be dealing with them by themselves. You can see that the person who is struggling, their movements are kind of feeble, not entirely under their control, but definitely resisting as she reaches into a coat of her own, pulls out a syringe and injects them with it as they go limp. And you can see that she has taken this person to what appears to be a row of these little pods, like almost like these little like these little oval pools almost, and you see little windows in them as they open like a clamshell, and you can see that this person is getting ready to put them into this this water-filled tank.
He waits until she gets him in the pod and like closes it, and I think that'll be the moment where it's like he pulls the hammer back on the revolver for that dramatic click.
I believe I'm not getting paid for this.
Right.
Did you catch that last
Perfect.
bit? You got that? Okay. Wasn't sure if you caught that. Yeah, but he waits till she has him in, pulls the hammer back, and it's like, how many more of the are you around here in this floor, huh?
Having a gun pulled on someone has a large effect on most college students. She also throws her hands up as the person who she was lowering into this water tank kind of splashes awkwardly into it. And she says, "Look, there's only a handful of us. There's like 6 of us and our bosses, you know? We're doing this for college credits. I don't want a gun in my face."
Well, it's not in your face. It's in the back of your head, okay? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's fine.
I mean, we're not going to hear the screw up your credits or anything, you know. Okay, just there's some matters that need to be attended around here, and it's not all. We're not going to say it's all on the up and up. So you said about half a dozen of you, all right? So they're all in the containment subjects and what was the third one? The unaccounted room that we haven't looked into yet. Testing or something.
That was research.
Research. So they'd be all in the research. So there's still 4 of you in research, then I take it?
So counting, you know that you've already knocked out 3 people. This would be the 4th.
Oh, right. The 2 that we head bopped. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's just like, you see maybe counting on his fingers, and then he goes, all right, so there'd be only 2 more. All right, well, I'm going to go deal with them, and you're going to take yourself a nice nap, okay?
They just don't make college students like they used to. She also drops like a stone. The person who is floating in it, you can now see that each of these pods seems to be a separate sensory deprivation tank. And there are a number of wires connected to a machine that they were definitely going to be hooking up to this person. And looking around, you can see 4 other pods, each of which contains what appears to be a sleeping person with a number of wires attached to them, monitoring various
College students?
brain activities. What was that?
Are they other college students or like
They look
elderly?
college aged, yes.
College, so more from the same place. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't mess with anything there. He tries the radio Pappy, even though he kind of doesn't expect it to work, but he tries it anyways. He's like, yo, Pappy, you there?
You are greeted with nothing but static.
Goddamn things. I don't know. I mean, I should just shout across here. It'd be easier, if we weren't trying to like be a little bit discreet. Turns and goes out the room and heads back over the containment to check on Pappy.
All right, so Pappy's still going to be. I mean, he's still currently looking, but if you come get him, he'll like be raised out of his, dazed stupor, and he'll be like, Oh, right, right. The rest of the place. Sorry. Let's go, but let's be quick about it so we can get back to this beast.
Yeah, there's the subjects area. Got a bunch of people in like pods with water in them, and it's all
People
hooked up with
sheep.
wires and stuff.
Yeah, but this thing is beautiful.
Like I don't care what you if you're if you want to take it on a date, worry about that after that's the mission here. Like that's not really important right now.
Man,
Like let's go.
oh,
Yeah, but you acting like you're a man of the tablecloth. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why we're dealing with this right now.
very well, very well. Let us go. I see the quickest path to resolution is your way. So let us away.
I mean, go check on them, make sure they're all right. I'm gonna go check on the research party. Round up the last two of them, and then all that's left is the bosses.
All right, all right. So I walk back with him to the subject area.
All right. It seems like the three of you are back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are in this room with these sensory deprivation tanks. Is there anything that you'd like to do here, or do you want to move down the hall to research?
My proposal is that we move down to research. It's best to leave these people in this state until we can get the containment van. Agent Conte, I thought you were up communicating with the headquarters.
Unfortunately, the elevator's no longer on this floor, fellas.
You know, they make a small round thing. It protrudes from the wall. It's called a button. You should try
Yeah,
that.
we can get it back, but we might be bringing back the Dr. Salazar.
Oh, wait, didn't
Yes.
you lock him in his office?
Yeah, I'll explain that I just had an encounter with them in the elevator, and that they almost got me, and that I mysteriously teleported to the basement. Not sure. Not sure if they did that to me, if that was me, but I think it was me.
You know, and being from the research division, I think Pappy will go on a long tirade about how there's no difference between teleportation and disintegration followed by subsequent cloning. So let us hope that you've not been through that.
He's kind of like checking his shirt nervously, like, maybe. And he's like, well, the sleeve's still gone, and he's like reasoning it out,
Sure.
trying anyway.
Well, do you feel like then that the elevator is no longer available to us? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we better be damn careful when we go down there again, and maybe I should have someone with me when I try to call it in.
I think if we clear this place out, we could all take the elevator together.
Salazar might be leaving right now. Just saying.
That's true. Agent West, what is your proposal?
I mean, do we think that maybe if we deal with whatever's in containment that stops him? Like, is it like an ongoing thing, or is it like some sort of like weird permanent thing that he's already undertaken that's not reversible?
I mean, I don't understand about Dr. Salazar. I certainly believe that Thomas Frame and Genevieve were probably under the effects of the creature in containment.
I just looked at my standard issue gear. I have a simple binding ritual.
Yep.
I mean, maybe that's something I'm like, I'll keep them here.
Hey, if he Salazar shows up and wants to stop us from shutting everything down for good, then you can shut him down.
I just don't want our suspect to get away.
Hey, no, neither did I. We gotta also make sure there ain't going to be any more suspects. So.
Yeah, I'm mostly concerned with backing them up wherever they're going to be. I'm not going to split up again.
All right. Well, I suggest we to move on it before the situation changes against our favor.
Yeah, let's go. Got two more that should be around here that we just need to give them a bit of a nighty night, and then we can move on.
All right, let's go.
And we sneak up to research.
All right, heading down, you get to the doors of the final room, labeled research. and inside you can hear some voices, including a voice that is now starting to become familiar, that is saying, "We must preserve as much as we can. They're going to try to take it from us, and we can't let them."
Familiar voice like Salazar or like somebody else?
A voice very much like Salazar.
Shall we?
I'm trying to think if I should do something stupid.
I mean, I want to teleport in the room while you kick the door in. So that way it looks flashy.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Like I'm just like, I want to go like I go to go in the room, but instead I'm just like, you know, like whoop.
Nightcrawler from X-Men, basically, just kind of poof, poof.
More like Raiden. It's like a blue light encompasses my body, but it's not super bright, and it just whoop. I swoop down and then whoop up in the next room.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like it. Go for it.
Cool. So we're going to call this this action roll that Conte is going to make, is going to determine everyone's kind of engagement in this situation.
Sure.
So go ahead and mark 1 resonance for doing that teleport.
All right, deeper down the hole I go.
We're so screwed.
Oh, can we see in that room?
There are small windows on the doors, but they're those kinds that have like kind of the wavy glass. It's hard to get a great picture of it. But you do see what appears to be 3 figures moving about with some urgency.
There's 3 in there? Ooh.
Yeah. 2 kids and Salazar.
All right, so like the power says to mark 1 resonance to teleport myself to a place I can see, but it also says that I could make an action roll and mark 1 resonance to teleport someone or something else.
Ooh.
So I think maybe it's like he really desires to like have them in front of him, so he's gonna try. I don't know, teleport one of them out or instead of go in there, because I mean it's like uncertain.
Bring Salazar to us, and we'll just scrap here in the hallway before we even have to open the door.
I kind of whoever I get, you know what I mean? It's like maybe I try to teleport Salazar, but that's kind of what's gonna go wrong probably.
All right,
terribly. That way I could get teleported in there alone. I don't know, something bad.
Sure. So go ahead and mark that 1 resonance. And make an action roll in order to see what happens as you try to bring someone from that room out to you.
Okay. That doesn't sound like it's procedure.
Procedures for teleportation of someone else.
Yeah. Right. I think that's not procedure. So I'm just gonna go if there's maybe 1 for spending the resonance.
Yeah, you definitely get the 1 for spending the resonance, I think.
Yeah.
Probably not contained to your background, probably doesn't have relevant gear, so it sounds like just 1 right now. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's pretty. Ouch. All right.
No disintegrations.
Big money.
No disintegrations. No disintegration. Yeah, no whammies.
Sounded like a whammy.
That's a 2.
That's a whammy.
That's a whammy.
That's a whammy.
Rolled a 6 though. Yeah.
All right. So, what is going?
Wrong teleport? I don't know.
What's the most exciting thing that could happen? I think you are concentrating on this, and suddenly you are the one who teleports.
Yeah.
But instead of emerging out of the floor, like would have been not terribly bad. Basically, you were trying to move them from here to there, and you ended up moving yourself from there, but you fall out of the ceiling as you just kind of land flat on your back on these. The wind is knocked out of you as you are able to look around and see a. This is the most like just an office. There's one wall. There are just numerous what look to be servers blinking with glowing lights, and the entire room has a real warmth and a stale air to it, with all of this heat coming off of this machinery. And you land flat on your back, and you see Dr. Salazar working on some of these computers as these two interns scramble to pack up files and get them secured in boxes. As you just land with a thunderous impact, and then the room itself goes silent as all three of them turn to look at you.
Sure. Sounds like a
and you
sack
are
of
now in a
potatoes
worse
wall.
position. Pappy Pappy and West, you instantly know that things have gone wrong.
No, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you hear a clunk clump, in the next room, and
Yeah.
I'm gone. And they're just all turned around looking at me, and there goes your surprise, I guess.
Yeah, Wes kicks the door in. Or opens it, depending if it just opens freely, or if it has resistance, he just fucking drills it.
Oh, I know what you hear. You hear freeze from the ground. As I point up from the ground, I'm like, freeze!
Freeze.
As it feels like I got hit in the kidney by something.
You kick down the door as you hear the voice of Dr. Salazar say, I don't know this from me, but you have to be involved. But I'm sure that Dr. Saunders put you up to this somehow. She was gonna shut it all down, and like I told her, I won't let you. And at this, the two interns have that now familiar deer in headlights, I am in way over my head look.
Yeah.
And they start scrambling to just get out of the situation. When suddenly, with a gesture, Dr. Salazar points at them, and both of them just stop, go still, adopt a glassy-eyed look, and then each of them reaches for something heavy or sharp. All right.
Weird. GM doesn't drop.
It is actually. I think you are going to. You point at Salazar. You pull the trigger. The gunshot goes off, and in an instant between you pulling the trigger and the bullet impacting him, once again he is just reduced to smoke. And from behind you, you hear his voice whisper in your ear, nice try, as a fist impacts the side of your head.
How close am I to West?
You're kind of dead in the center of the room. There's a long, conference table strewn with papers that you are flat on your back on.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, grab his leg. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not. You're still out of position.
Yep. I'm scrambling to position, but yeah.
The interns have both taken up some crude weapons. One of them grabs a blunt CRT computer monitor, one of the big, chunky, heavy ones, and is wielding it above their head just as a large, blunt object. And the other has found a paper cutter and has taken off of the bladed arm as a crude machete.
Oh gosh. The CRT that's just too OP, man. You had to bring out the deadly stuff, huh?
Yeah, that's why they discontinued them and they had to make up LCDs because they were just too deadly.
Yeah.
So Adam,
Electrical
To
hazard.
take a,
Adam, I would like to use my telepathy, and I would like to communicate with both of the interns. I can make an action roll to communicate with multiple people at once, and I would like to communicate with them, and like I'm clearly looking at them, but my mouth is closed, and I'm staring at them, and I'm like, "Kids, you are way over your head here, and you do not want to be doing that. Put down the weapons, and no harm will come to you. Otherwise, I fear that graduating will be the least of your concerns."
all right, go ahead and make that action roll.
All right, so I will mark a resonance because I use my power. I'm not trained. I don't have a relevant background. Not using gear. 1 die.
Money.
Yeah, I roll a 5.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah.
With that, connecting to them, you can feel both. Oh, I'm sorry. With that, you can connect with them, and you feel both of their minds kind of submerged under the surface, like they've been forcibly pushed down as something else is taking control of them. And from both of them, you can feel this like strong sense of alarm as these voices like cry out in your head, "This isn't me. I don't want to do this." As their bodies continue to advance. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a difficult choice with this consequence. You can use your psychic powers. You can spend another point of resonance to push out the controlling force, which will cause them to just both fall unconscious.
Uh-huh.
But that takes a little bit of time, and they are going to hurt you in the time it takes to do that.
I will take that hard choice.
Okay. Pappy, the other two agents, you are able to look on as Pappy locks eyes with these students, and he is clearly doing something with them as they move with intention. And just before they strike blows against him, Pappy's eyes fling over, and both of them seem to collapse as if the weight is taken out from under them. But as they do, their motions are already in progress. And that CRT monitor just slams into Pappy's head. And you see him go down and like bounce off the desk as he is on the floor, just kind of clutching his head in agony. Unless you would like to redact that consequence.
No, I wouldn't. I would like to leave that consequence.
Excellent. With that said, Pappy is down for the moment, leaving West and Conte to deal with the seemingly intangible Dr. Salazar. He reacts with obvious anger and frustration as his two puppets fall down, leaving him alone to deal with you.
Eric, did you want your character to be? Are you okay with being knocked out there, or you just don't have You don't want to redact.
Be really appropriate and like a good result for like, yeah, I'm cool with it.
He's not knocked out. He's not out of the battle. He's down for the moment and in a lot of pain.
Well, Connie, did you want to try the next step? Like, if you want to do your ritual, or should I just try to?
No, I don't want to try binding rituals right now. That sounds a bit crazy. It's probably the worst action rating I could roll. No, I think instead I'm going to do something physical. I don't know. He's turned into smoke and stuff, right? That's
Yeah.
what we keep seeing.
Dust, yeah.
Are there, what are they called? Hoods? Are there like fan hoods in here? Like ventilation?
Um.
That's smart.
Yes, I think there are.
Yeah.
I'm going to say just due to the nature of the room, due to the heat that's generated by these computers, there's like a big fan system that's connected to everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. Okay. So this is probably hooked up to the building, though. I don't know. I think of it as a last resort. You know, like, but I'm near those buttons ready to do something, and I'm gonna definitely assist with whatever you're doing.
Okay.
So,
Since West isn't very very poorly loosely educated for supernatural stuff, my only really good idea is that he like either jumps up or reaches up depending on how high the ceiling is. But since you said there's a bunch of like the piping and wires and stuff are all like this, it's not wrapped into like ceilings and vents and insulation or anything like that. They're basically well, not necessarily exposed, but because they're still wrapped in there, the wires are still in their like plastic wrap or whatever, but they're still basically there. It's just gonna have him rip down some wires and like jab them into the like this smoky visage behind him and just see if it like the electrical current just like sparks through this entity and causes anything.
yeah, I was actually thinking too, it'd be really distracting for them if they were being sucked out through fans at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, so that way, if they try to do the dissipate thing, you know,
Yeah.
it screws them up. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm going for. I'm trying to like work with you somehow.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make an action roll.
Is that at him or?
Yeah, it's probably me. It's not procedure, but given the circumstance, I might as well just I can just use my department thing. Anything's by the book. I just have to fill out more paperwork. It's fine. At this point, I'm filling out like a short story at this point of paperwork. That's really...
once again, I would accept an argument that you're trying to contain him.
I would say you are. You're not trying to murder him, right?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is pretty core objectives to what we do.
All right, contain works. That's all I get. It's really just that one die either way. It's not related to being mafia enforcer. It's not a criminal thing.
But you could spend resonance, or you could gain a point of resonance.
Yeah, we'll do a resonance. We'll do another die. That's fine.
I can also hear an argument for mafia enforcer, depending on
how so?
The nature of. I don't know. Maybe you do a bunch of improvised, ripping wiring out and trying to zap someone with it. Maybe this isn't your first time doing that.
Those torture sessions that you participated in. I don't know.
What happened to Bill? He's taking an electroplasmic nap in the water. Okay, like.
Okay.
We'll go with the 2 die. I don't know about the mafia thing. It doesn't make as much sense.
All right.
2 and a 3. Yay.
Oh boy.
All right, so Alpha
Um,
and Bravo team failed, and that's how we end. Nice knowing you, everybody.
Um,
I think you successfully rip the wiring out of the wall, and you go to zap him. And as you do, you are once again greeted with thin air. So the consequence for this is just going to be lost opportunity as you come to the realization that no direct physical attack is going to work on him. Uh, and you hear him laughing and say, "You can't touch me. I'm not even here."
Okay, I've kicked off the table by now, and I'm slam the fan button, whatever that is, so I can start slurping him through the ventilation system, hopefully dispersing his body.
Um, the implication to what he just said is that that is not going to work because he is not manipulating a like physical particle.
He's essentially an illusion.
Right. Right. So I do that and realize it's not going to work, and I'm just like, no. Conti's looking a little bit perplexed, and he's just like, fight fire with fire, and he pulls out the ritual ingredients.
Awesome. Uh,
Start drawing chalk on the ground. I don't know. Furiously making symbols.
Go for it.
sure. Is that what it's going to look like? You have like chalk, and you're going to try to make a magic circle to contain him.
Yeah, it's chalk, but like the chalk like sparks as I'm like hitting the ground with it. You know, we see like like little blue sparks and stuff. And I think it's like a rapidly drawn thing where I'm just like tut, 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 and then hoping that works. I don't know.
Cool. Pappy, clutching your head, a trickle of blood running through your fingers. You kind of blink through the pain to see the current situation as well.
Uh-huh. Uh, okay, so I don't think that there's. Okay, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I clearly could have a proton pack containment unit. That's an option, though I think we want to use that for obfuscation. The other thing, I
don't know. Things are kind of going off the rails. So
yes. Can I do actually? Okay, so hold on. I am going to. Can I do a setup action? Is that like a thing?
It's not explicitly in the rules of it, but I think you are certainly able to take actions that are going to help your teammates.
Okay, so I'm gonna just. I think I'm just gonna pick up a bunch of stuff, right? Like, and it's not intended to be like big, dangerous, but like books or Bunsen burners or cables would be great, like a box of cables. And I'm just gonna toss it at the guy, and I'm gonna try to interfere with him long enough that that Agent Conte can use his binding ritual.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and make an action roll as you just try to distract Dr. Salazar long enough for Agent Conte to set up his binding ritual.
Okay, so does that count? So that's just common stuff. Is that common stuff, or does that count as an item I get a die for?
I think that would count as common gear, so that's going to be no bonus, unless you want to be throwing some of your standard issue items.
Yeah, no, I think probably not. I will. Okay, here's what I want to do. Adam, you tell me if this makes sense or not. This is going to be a little weird. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hook up my recording equipment to my radio, and I'm going to infuse it with my resonance power, because there's all this static that's interfering with the radio, and that's also seems to be co-occurrent with his special power. So I'm going to try to use my radio and hack it to send out a frequency that interferes with his ability to leave.
Cool. I think this is still going to be distracting in order to
That's right.
set up
That's right.
the binding ritual.
That's right. But I think I'm using my radio, which is standard issue, and I'm using a point of resonance, so I get 2D.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And I mean, again, this I definitely think this. So go ahead and take that third.
The 3 and a 2.
Oh no! Come on. Wait, a 3 and a 2? I thought you were rolling three dice.
No, so I got 1 for resonance.
Yep.
I got 1 for using equipment. Did I get another 1 for something else?
Because you were trying to contain.
Oh, sure. Okay, so I'm going to roll 1 more die separately, and that'll just be my third die. And I roll a 5.
Hey!
There we go.
All right. With that, you are taking this equipment of yours and kind of retrofitting it in a way it's not entirely supposed to be used for. Agent Conte is on the ground with his chalk, rapidly making this magic circle, ending to sabotage his efforts. And at exactly the right moment, you channel your resonance into it, and you see his form like shimmer and waver as what you are doing is not destabilizing him, but just interfering with this projection of himself that he has created, creating this confusion and buying just enough time for Agent Conte to finish his binding circle. Agent Conte, what does it look like as you finish this circle with Salazar in it?
Okay. So I guess as I complete the circle, there'll be wisps of multicolored glittery smoke or something that start to trail up out of the rings on the ground, and the symbols light up. They look archaic, otherworldly. They're like 3D symbols too, like like an impossible geometry going on. They're not just regular flat symbols that come out of the ground. They're like, it's like, wow, that's got some depth to it. That's weird. And then they configure into some kind of like weird shape, and then it like creates a crystal prison around him or something.
All right. Agent West. This is all very strange. Maybe this is a little bit more than what you're normally prepared for. But the sense you get is that with this ritual that you've seen, they have made him vulnerable. And you get to choose. Do you want to try to restrain him, contain him, or do you just want to pull the trigger and be done with it?
I have no idea how long he'll be restrained, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Conte on the back. He's like, I don't know much longer I can hold it. You know? The wind's blowing around like X-Files style, right? Like,
man,
you know, the lights flickering.
There wouldn't be enough time to do what I want to do. Because I started putting kind of some pieces together, and it's like, because Salazar was the guy we visited in the office, right? Or at least West visited in the office he was at, right? And that office is a bit away. It's not a short trek through the campus.
Correct.
Yeah, I was going to do something with that. Damn it. I guess we pull the trigger and be done with it then. I can't do what the other thing I was gonna do, because what I was gonna do is look around, see if there was any like syringes of adrenaline, and then go run back
Mhm.
to the office and pay him back a visit in person and inject him with adrenaline and wake him up, and then we could basically solve a lot of that problem and just have that dramatic moment where he comes to and then the gun's like right there at his face, but can't do that. Just not enough time for that. So yeah, we'll just drop the another round right here while he's frazzled and dissipated.
Flashbacks aren't really a thing.
Oh, I need a
necessarily.
flash forward.
Well, you could have had the needle on you or something. I don't know.
Because I need to get back to the office. That's the problem. Like it's his body is not here. It's in another building in the campus where
Oh, he's
he's
literally not here. He's actually
right.
just an
Right.
apparition.
Yeah, he's an apparition. We know, but we know where his body is. That's why I was gonna go like find like adrenaline and go wake up the body. But I need to get physically from here in the basement to that other building,
Okay.
and we don't have
Yeah, that
the time.
confused me because I grabbed him in the elevator. Okay.
He's a very solid apparition.
Yeah. Right. Got it.
So yeah, we'll pull the trigger. That's fine.
All right. A shot rings out, echoing around the cold concrete walls. The apparition of Dr. Salazar that is in front of you stands there looking shocked as a hole in his head suddenly appears. His resistance stops. His anger, pathetic voice. Oh no. I'm waking up now. I'm going to forget. And then just the illusion collapses in front of you as you are left in an unnatural silence in this basement. And now we cut to the montage of wrap up.
Yep.
As we see agents going about doing their thing, planning the cover up, talking about these unethical experiments with sleep therapy that went very wrong, about the deaths caused by the stress and overwork as a result of it. About how poor Dr. Salazar was found in his office, clearly having taken a drug overdose or something, as he's just in a catatonic state and refuses to respond. Yeah, so let's go around and have like one little vignette moment with each character. Pappy, what are you doing?
So I think Pappy would be at Agent Darby's bedside, as Agent Darby, assuming if he makes it, would be kind of sitting by his bedside as he's waking up, and he's got like a thing of flowers, but he's got like 7 or 8 teddy bears there for Agent Darby, even though he's like a 40-year-old guy in a 12-year-old's body. And as Darby's waking up, he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that a child did not come to harm during my mission. Welcome back, Agent Darby. Let me tell you what happened," and he will explain it.
Upon
Con-
being called a child, Darby is going to just say, "You do that on purpose. Where's my Game Boy?" And then we're going to cut to Agent Conte, I believe, was going next.
Yeah, I was gonna say Conti's probably had also visited to check on the boy, but maybe he was knocked out at or was still sleeping or resting or whatever. And he'd left a teddy bear on, that was one thing he did. But I think as he's leaving the room, he's we see him holding up like some kind of, it's like a religious pamphlet or something, and it says like your body is not physical, it's immaterial. Join the cause, of the, it has like a some kind of weird church name. It's like like I don't know, the South American arm of the congressional chapter of whatever, and it's like this long thing, and he's like a pamphlet from the bureau or something, and he's just like, like maybe I should check that out. And he checks his sidearm and leaves the hospital.
Perfect. Agent West.
I think his is it goes back to the dormitory with the guy's friends that he first gathered information off of, and he probably hands them what does he hand them? Maybe he managed to sleight of hand one of the dream catchers from the victims' rooms, and like came over and handed to them, and it just shows him like explaining stuff to his friends, but we don't really know what he's fully explaining. Like, because I mean, like they told a story to the rest of the campus and did all the sealing up of the issue publicly, but he's like having this other conversation with the friends, and the
Perfect.
friends kind of get very kind of like emotional and shocked by it, and then it just kind of like the camera just like moves out the doorway type of thing.
Love it. So that will definitely be a loose end. But yeah, the last scene we see is the dream catcher, or the dream eater, captured by the bureau, being loaded into some secure containment to be transported to the bureau itself.
Top move.
And with that, that is where we are going to end our game. Thank you so much for playing. If everyone would like to go around and give any plugs for anything they might be involved in or social media, let's do that. Starting with Eric.
Yeah, so you can. So I don't have anything to plug yet. Me and a group of my friends are working on a Hacked in the Dark, Cthulhu-esque investigative game. If you want to follow news about our work, you can follow us on Itch and on Twitter at Cryptic Cabal.
Mark.
You're muted.
Oh, I think you're muted.
Right, you are. Yes, so my name is Mark Cleveland. I'm also the author of Runners in the Shadows and Hope and Magic and a couple other games. You can find me on itch.io at markcleveland.itch.io. And yeah, I'm also one of the people behind the channel here, so make sure to follow if you enjoyed this stream.
Zach.
And I am Zelkry. I am a Twitch streamer, mostly a variety of RPGs. Been doing a lot of, we have our regular tabletop stuff, but I'm also doing some video games and stuff on the side of like things like Final Fantasy and other general MMOs or RPGs I can get my hands on until Battlefield comes out. Then conveniently I'll turn into a shooter streamer, but you know, that's just how things go sometimes. I have not necessarily published, but I have made a Blades playbook. You can, I think, see it. It's literally one of the first posts of the changelogs channel of the Blades Discord if you scroll all the way to the top. But that was me. Maybe I'll eventually format it properly and have it properly released for people, because it does sometimes I do get feedback on it being kind of enjoyable. Otherwise, just yeah, follow me on Twitch and follow, like, and whatnot for Hacked in the Dark.
Adam, you want to go?
Absolutely. I have been your GM. My name is Adam Bucheri. I am the creator of Enter the Survival Horror, a forged in the dark game inspired by the classics of survival horror, such as Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Dead Space, etc. It is available on itch.io. You can find me at itch.io by searching Adam Bucherri. You can also find me on Twitter at Adam Bucherri. And yeah, I do a bunch of game stuff. I've also got a couple of one-page RPGs if you're interested in checking them out. Harrowing is a neat game. But yeah, that's me. Also, again, check out Hacked in the Dark. It's great. Also, big shout outs to the Blades in the Dark Discord. So, with that, I think we are all wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Thanks, guys.